Let's cut the rest of these sections. So we have elevation or section or elevation A already done. So we're going to just be repeating some of these same steps. Again, good to repeat this kind of stuff because it's great practice. Another thing to keep in mind is when you first make a model, if you have really simple four walls and you want to put your sections in place right at the beginning, you can, and you'll actively see the sections will update everything that you add to the model, so you can review and kind of study your model in section as you build it. In our case, we happen to already have a full building, so we don't want to do our sections until we're done. All right, I'm gonna go select my section tool. On this wall, elevation B, I want to be really careful that I don't snap to or click on the angled wall, because if I do, watch what happens. My section cuts at an angle. So as I move it, it's actually moving at an angle through the model. And that's not how I want it to work. See when I get to this wall, how it's kind of slicing it at that strange angle? That's not how I want to look at this in elevation. I want to look at this straight on. So let's go ahead and undo that. A good place to reference would probably be the wall of this big plane that surrounded this spa area here. So I'll click once on that. Then I'll select my section, move it back into place, and this time I'm just going to again go 12 inches. I select the section and right click anywhere on the plane of it and make sure that I'm aligning my view. Then I go to camera and I turn off perspective. I have set up a shortcut for myself that Shift P is perspective off and on, so I like to toggle that off and on sometimes really quickly. So you might want to make sure that you set up a couple easy shortcuts. Specifically, that's a really good one. Okay, and lastly, I don't want to see my sections, so I'm going to uncheck section planes under View. So View, Section Planes, turn that off, and add this as a new scene. And I'm going to click on elevation A before I do that so that my new scene goes right under. And we're going to call this elevation B. Enter. Okay, I'm going to keep this scenes window up for the time being. Go back to perspective. Now let's do elevation or section C. Click on the section tool, click anywhere on this wall, and pull this out 12 inches. Align my view, Shift P or camera perspective, and then view section planes. I'm going to try, this time I'm not going to go down. I'm going to add a new scene here. Notice that it's up at the top under right underneath perspective working. So first I'm going to title it elevation C, enter. And now I'm going to use these little arrow buttons to move this down into place. So this is how you toggle or move the scenes. There's these little arrows. Okay, let's do our last one. Go back to perspective working. Select the section tool, click once on that glass, move that back into place after I've selected it, 12. Align my view by right-clicking on the plane, and then Shift P to eliminate that perspective. Here's something I'm looking at and noticing, and now that I'm thinking about it, I probably didn't turn it on for one of the other ones as well, and that is that the roof is not in place. So let me do a Shift U to unhide that, so that'll bring that arch into place. So my roof is back. Now I'm going to do a view section planes, and I'm going to add a new section and call this one elevation D and move it down. Let's go take another look at elevation B because it looks like we need to bring our ceiling back to this one too. So if I look at elevation B and Shift U to unhide my ceiling element, all I have to do now is right click and update that, and it'll be updated on that scene. On elevation C, we don't see the ceiling in this section because this section actually sticks up beyond that curved roof piece, so we're not really worried about it here. Okay, so let's just go ahead and take a look. We've got our perspective working, we've got our view 1, and then we can easily pop to our elevation A. So this is a great way to get your model ready so that you can view all your sections at once.